Hello, and welcome to today's subscriber contract, Wet Bandit, set in Dartmoor and supplied to us today by Paul Anderson 37. So moving on to our briefing, 47 has been watching Home Alone and wants to copy their calling card. And moving on to our targets, and today we have 5 of them, along with 6, count them, 6 objectives. So for today's challenge, we'll be starting as the mansion staff, and we'll be bringing with us a proximity micro taser, a remote micro taser, and a silenced pistol. So right from the start and off the bat, our first target is directly behind us in the corridor, and that would be Miss Jones here, and we're gonna bypass her, interrupting her flirtation with the bodyguard. We're gonna make our way into the bathroom and overflow the sink, and once Miss Jones arrives to pick up her duties, we're gonna collect the barber's razor and throw it against the wall with the door open.
Excuse me?
That will attract Miss Jones's attention, who doesn't look very impressed, and she will move into the room to stop the sink, and we are going to interrupt her before she does so, render her unconscious. We're going to pull her slightly closer to the sink, and then we're going to move on to our next target, Otto Lee, who is on patrol in the corridor. So as you can see, he is also an electrocution elimination, and he is also an enforcer. So we're going to let him walk back past us. We're going to pounce on him and render him unconscious. We're going to collect up his gun so that we're not interrupted later on by someone removing the weapon away, and we are going to drag him to the bathroom with Miss Jones, and we are going to place him next to her just by the sink here. Then we're going to drop one of our tasers. I'm going to go for the proximity taser just on the floor here, and it hasn't gone off, so we're going to try and get around past our 2 targets, collect up the barber's razor, move back into a safe position, and try and throw the razor on the floor somewhere to trigger the electrocution device, or the taser, which it does, and we get 2 eliminations in 1. So the remainder of our targets are all downstairs, and we're going to move on next to Edward Carlisle, the weakest of the Carlisle siblings, and we're just going to make our way straight down the stairs via the library and through the corridors. We're going to close the doors just on our left here. There we go. We're going to grab these 2 coins ready for later on. Then we're going to close the kitchen doors. I said close the kitchen doors. There we go. And make our way into the dining room. We're going to turn on the gramophone and then hide ourselves behind one of the white chairs. And in a moment, Edward Carlisle will get distracted by the gramophone. And when he goes in to investigate and turn it back off, after looking somewhat dumbfounded, which suits his weak-jawed attitude, we can then approach him from behind. Just going to let him turn the gramophone off before we pounce on him, render him unconscious, and then we're going to drag him out into the corridor, sticking as close to the wall as we can, and we're going to deposit him in the rather large puddle here out in the corridor. We're going to go into the storage room, grab the car battery, and then we're going to launch that at his head, and hopefully that will land somewhere in the puddle, which it does, and we get our 3rd elimination. So from here on out, things will slow down a little. We're going to make our way into the kitchen area and grab ourselves some rat poison before making our way across the building to the study. And we're going to go out via the side door where the hearse is located to avoid our final target, who is also an enforcer. So here is Rebecca Carlisle, and she's just moved away from her bottle of water, which gives us the opportunity to add the rat poison to it. We're then going to make our way to the library bathroom, and we're just going to await the arrival of Rebecca. Now this will take a little while, and as you can see, there was an enforcer housekeeping staff member in the background, and we do need him out of the way, which thankfully Robert Carlisle assisted us with. So once Rebecca arrives, we can quickly dunk her head down the toilet. I'm assuming there were no fish, cats or keys down there, as she didn't come up with anything. And we can then move on to our final target, who is probably the most problematic. So we're just going to open the doors, throw a coin into the corridor here, and hopefully we've thrown it in just the right position that we are not spotted when our final target comes to investigate. And when she does, we can close the doors behind her, get behind her, render her unconscious, and then we can drag Miss Moss into the bathroom along with Rebecca. And we're just gonna do what we did upstairs by overflowing the sink. This time round, I think I'll turn on both sinks, as the bodyguard we're about to distract will also be distracted by the coin we've thrown. So we have a little bit more time than normal. So we're going to overflow both of the sinks, drop our taser, and when the puddle is big enough, we are going to trigger the taser. Now, as I mentioned, we have a bodyguard on his way here. So rather than go back out through the door, we are going to exit via the window and head for our exit, which in this case will be the bridge exit. And we're just going to give the bodyguard a chance to get past us. Again, we have an enforcer outside of the kitchen doors, so we're going to cut through the dining room and out through the window and across the bridge, leaving the moors. So there we go, one more subscriber contract taken care of, and we just get confirmation all of our targets have been eliminated according to plan, and we did manage to meet all of our objectives, and that will gain us a silent assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.